So Jade, I know you're really tired and, already look like you're all cozy and ready for bed. Just want to hop into those PJs. And, I feel like we've done a lot of work this season. I feel like, we should just take the night off. I feel like we shouldn't even
Did I do well in predictions?
Shouldn't even look at,
Did I do well in predictions?
what happened last week. I think we take a good, well-deserved week off, and then we don't necessarily have to worry about anything. We could just regroup, come back next week, and be even stronger, I think, because I've been reading a lot about mental health, and I think the key to a good mind, body, and soul is rest. And while I haven't slept in about a year and a half,
you just keep carrying on. So let's get to me winning. Apparently, woo! It was only by one.
And you know what game it was?
Yeah.
The Bears and the frickin' Vikings. Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to another episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host. I'm dead inside Grossi.
I'm Jade and have dog hair everywhere. Grossi.
That's because you're a real beautiful winner. And Jade has just... So, I went 7-7 last week with 102, 44, and 1 on the season. And Jade went 8-6. 89, 57, and 1 on the season.
For the record, 102 and 89.
Jade.
So,
yes.
I don't know why you're sulking.
The Vikings were the ones who made me lose.
Great. It's the way it should be. It's the way it should have been.
How could this happen?
To me.
Kirk Cousins won on a Monday night for the first time in his entire career. I mean, I expected the Bears to suck because they always do, but...
That's great. There's always room for growth.
Unless you're the Bears.
Well, no. If they're that bad, there's room for growth. Still applies.
No, there's still a bottom for them. They've lost 4 games straight.
There's a bottom for everybody. And everything. Oof.
Are you really checking your fantasy scores while you're recording this?
I haven't even started talking yet. I need to, occupy myself so I don't yawn.
Oh, I'm sorry to bore you with my analysis.
Well, you say I don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. Sure, it would help if I were a Packers fan.
I haven't even talked about the Packers yet.
I know.
I haven't even mentioned them yet.
Right.
That's going to be a 25-minute segment. Hail Murraying into our first game. You got the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Seattle Seahawks on Thursday Night Football.
Keep moving your chair. Every time you move your chair,
the Cardinals, of course,
the
they won on a miracle play.
Can't go any further
against the Buffalo Bills this past Sunday.
No, the Bills lost.
With a Hail Murray full of grace, DeAndre Hopkins is with thee, and with thee hands. They caught the ball with 3 Bills defenders in the area. The Seahawks, well, they're a Fall Out Boy song right now. You know which one, Jade?
I'm going down, down.
Hawks are going down, down before the wild card round. And Sugar, they're throwing lots of picks. He'll throw another pick in a minute. Considering he was the MVP frontrunner, now he isn't going down, down in an earlier round. The Seattle Seahawks have an atrocious defense as they lost to the Rams. But then again, Jared Goff didn't throw a single touchdown pass. And yet the Seahawks still lost. Mostly because of Russell Wilson. They live and dieth by the Russell Wilson. The Cardinals, they don't really have a great defense either. However, they did intercept Josh Allen 2 times. Obviously, the Cardinals and Seahawks battled it out a few weeks ago in prime time, and here they are again to see who can be atop the NFC West. A lot of people, I think, are going to go for the Cardinals, but I'm actually going to pick the Seahawks here because I think that they're going to come out pretty darn angry, and I don't see Russell Wilson throwing a cajillion interceptions again. But if he does, I'm cool with that too. Oh, maybe if you weren't so bored, you would have paid attention to anything I said.
Well, I did. I was listening to the fact that you said they both have very poor defenses.
Yep. Both defenses have flown the coop.
So does that mean that either of them have good offenses?
Because they're birds.
Either of them have good offenses?
Yes, Jade.
They both have good offenses?
Yes.
Not defenses, but offenses?
Yes.
No D's, but offs?
Gonna get this D off in a second.
I'm going to go with the Cardinals. Cardinals.
Perfecting our way into our next game, you have the still perfect Pittsburgh Steelers, the only undefeated team in the NFL, taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Luton was doing okay against the Green Bay Packers as they put up quite the fight before the Green Bay Packers trampled their dreams on that last drive.
Did you just say Packles?
I don't think so, did I?
It sounded like you said Packles. I feel like I would definitely be a fan of the Packles instead of the Packers. Packles? Like pickles? Except they're Packles. Or like Baggles. Baggles for the Packles.
The Steelers decimated the Bengals because I was an idiot and I called for that upset. That was another game that Jade got over me. Yeah, the Steelers should have their way with the Jaguars. I'm not thinking they're going to do so well. I'm going to go with the Steelers.
Steelers.
Kicking a last-second field goal into our next game, you got the Detroit Lions taking on the Carolina Panthers. You know what that means, Jade?
Meow.
It's a kitty war! Meow, 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 meow.
So there's a Go Noodle video that I do with my kids. And it's called Cat Party by Cuckoo Kangaroo. And literally their moves are, we are going to a cat party. Going to a cat party. We are going to a cat party.
Why don't you think the cats had buttholes in the movie Cats? Anyway, so these kitties are going to fight it out in the litter box this Sunday. The Lions, they were able to squeak away a win against Wildflower and the Washington football team, while the Panthers fell victim to Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Panthers might not have Teddy Bridgewater, so that's going to be a problem. Probably also not going to have Christian McCaffrey. Screw my life. So because of that, I'm actually going to go with the Lions.
Lions.
Typhooning our way into our next game, you got the New England Patriots taking on the Houston Texans. The Patriots were able to swim their way to victory against the Baltimore Ravens in a rainy Sunday night football matchup. The defense looked pretty darn good, or was it just the Ravens offense that bad? Nobody knows, but Cam Newton was efficient enough. The Texans don't really have hope for them. I feel like the Patriots are going to continue to claw back their way into relevance. Patriots.
Okay, Patriots.
Left side, strong side in our way into our next game. You got the Tennessee Titans taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Both of these teams, we're just going to cut right to it. They need a win. They need a victory. The Titans' grasp over the AFC South is slowly waning. Like ships in the night, passing by as the Colts pass them. And they're like, wait, no! Come back! I don't know why they're still looking this way if the
Baby,
ship went
come
that
back.
way. Jade, this isn't the musical part yet. Thank you.
I can't help when I'm inspired.
Oh, so you've gone from bored to inspired, but yet your fantasy football app is still open.
I am listening to what you have to say to make...
Well, that's a first in this relationship.
I'm going to remember that.
Doubtful. The Ravens are just trying to get something going. They have great games against the Colts, and then they can't overcome a 10-point deficit against the Patriots. It's honestly very confusing. Who's going to win this game? Oh, God, that's tough.
The Ravens.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Ravens.
No, I picked the Ravens. You're not allowed.
Rocking our way into our next game, you got the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns, they're okay. Nick Chubb returning most definitely helped that team, revitalized the Cleveland Browns a bit. While the Eagles, they lost to the Giants. Even she knows. Oof. Who's going to win this game? Hell if I know. But I guess the Browns.
I was going to go with the Browns.
Choking our way into our next game, you got the Atlanta Falcons taking on the New Orleans Saints. The Falcons had a bye week last week, while the Saints, they wish they had a bye week. While they defeated the San Francisco 49ers, Drew Brees had his ribs broken and his lung punctured and still played a couple plays afterwards.
For reals?
No, it was make pretend.
That really happened?
That'd be a really specific thing for me to make up.
How did that happen?
Football.
No, I understand that. Was he tackled?
No, he tripped over a bench. Yes, Jade, he was tackled.
That sucks. A punctured lung? That's awful. Is he still gonna play? No.
He's gonna take a little breaky break. Yeah, he's.
Oh my gosh, a broken rib and a punctured lung? That's like your worst fear when you're giving CPR to someone.
Actually, that's not true. Your worst fear would be if you break their xiphoid processor, because then that could puncture their heart. I took a CPR class. So yeah, you're going to have the likes of Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill taking over here. The Falcons, I mean, they still have a good team. Julio Jones is still good. Matt Ryan and that Julio Jones connection is still freaking fracking solid. Can the Saints get it done? And by Saints, I mean Alvin Kamara. Yeah, I'll say Alvin Kamara gets it done.
Falcons. I'll go with Falcons.
Bungling our way, that was for you, Tree, into our next game. You got the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Washington football team. The Bengals got pretty decimated by the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're saying pretty much welcome to the league. While the Washington football team, they overcame a 21-point deficit, and it was all for naught as the Lions kicked their hopes and dreams right through the upright. Who's going to win this game? Washington actually has a pretty good defense this year, and they're probably going to kill Joe Burrow because, you know, his offensive line is trash. You know what? I believe in Joe Burrow. I'm going to go with the Bengals. This will be a close game.
What you're saying is I should pick up the Washington defense.
Sure. They got me 0 points in fantasy last week.
You just said they have a pretty good defense.
They do. Not last week.
Washington.
Comaing into our next game, you got the New Jersey Jets taking on the LA Chargers. The Chargers, tale as old as time, sucking in the, not east but west, cannot win a game. Life is full of shame. Herbert and the Chargers. The Jets are really on a campaign to go 0-16 and may succeed. The Chargers are standing in their way going, hey, we can choke too.
Horses.
Actually, that's pretty speciest. Hay is for a variety of animals, okay? And you perpetuating those stereotypes is what keeps the animal hierarchy in the place in which it's at currently.
What's the hierarchy?
Moo-moos, Nenes, Babas, Oink Oinks. And don't even get me started on Quack Quacks.
They don't eat hay.
You don't know. Anyway, so yeah, the Jets, I mean, they have a decent shot at winning this game. They won't, though. We're going to go with the Chargers. Sorry, Springsteen. Somehow winning into our next game, you have the Miami Dolphins taking on the Denver Broncos. Honestly, the Miami Dolphins keep winning. Amazing special teams play and also defense is somehow keeping them afloat. And of course, you have Tua.
Oshkosh bagosh.
What she said, but with a T.
Tosh gosh bagosh.
Playing pretty darn well and playing pretty solid. The Broncos got humiliated last week. Drew Lock threw 4 interceptions.
That's not good.
He was bad. I'm going to say the Dolphins keep up their winning streak and take another W. Whatever string quarterback we're up to next into our next game, we have the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings won their Super Bowl not only against the Packers, but also on this past Monday night against the Bears.
Getting better.
The Cowboys, they had a bye week. They almost beat the Steelers a couple weeks back with a new Garrett in town, but he doesn't clap as much. The Vikings, they're getting real full of themselves, and unfortunately, they're about to play some really bad teams, so they're going to get even more full of themselves, and I'm never going to hear the end of it. So I'm going to go with the Vikings.
So you're saying I should pick up the Vikings defense. Vikings!
And then, a game that was too large for the 1 o'clock time slot to contain. Your 7-2 Green Bay Packers head to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. The Colts, one of the best defenses in the league, knocking off the Titans last week. The Packers, they were able to take down the Jaguars, but not in really an impressive way. Alan Lizard Lazard will be returning, though, this Sunday, and so the Green Bay Packers will be at full strength on offense. Hopefully we'll get Kevin King back and Jair Alexander. This should be a battle. I hope the Green Bay Packers absolutely decimate the Indianapolis Colts. We coming for you, McAfee. Packers.
I'm going to go with the Packers.
No.
Yeah.
No, don't pick the Packers. The Colts are good. You should pick the Colts.
Packers.
Come out and play. Reigning, defending, Super Bowl championing our way into our next game. I almost had a stroke during that. You have the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Vegas Raiders. The Raiders have been bullying teams. Josh Jacobs was like, I'm going to run through you. And then, of course, you had the Drew Lock 4 interception thing. The Chiefs, they had a bye week, and they're going to look to get some revenge after they lost the first time against the Raiders, their only loss of the season. This should be a good divisional matchup. I'm going to go with Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. A well-rested team under Andy Reid's guidance and care doesn't really lose.
So would you say that the Chiefs have a good defense?
It's okay.
All right, I'll go with the Chiefs.
Ramming our way into our next game, you have the Rams taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Rams were able to knock off the Seahawks. That was fun. While the Buccaneers were able to take care of business against the Carolina Panthers. I would say this is going to be a good game, but I honestly can't figure the Rams out. Sometimes they look amazing. Sometimes they get blown out by the 49ers. I really don't know. The Buccaneers, I mean, they played well against the Panthers, but they also got blown out against the Saints.
So it's a toss-up.
It's a toss-up. And this coin is landing on Buccaneers.
I'm going to go with the Rams.
So those are our picks for Week 11 in the NFL. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com or at TomGrossiComedy, all social media, see down below. Check out podcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course YouTube. And a big shout out thank you to all our patrons over at patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy and the YouTube members. But thank you so much for watching.
So I still don't know who to pick up for the defense here. I listened to everything that you said, and
It's a lie. Definitely didn't.
And I just feel like there's a couple options I have. Do I pick up a defense indefinitely for the rest of the season? Do I pick up one that's going to be good for this week and then swap?
Sorry, I was bored.
Listen, people watch your show to get information. I am currently listening to the show to get information, and it's not helping me because you're being mean.
Drop my little pen thing.
I'm Jade Grossi.
Oh, I'm Jade Grossi. Oh, no, cranky. Oh, you squishy face. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Jade Grossi. And as always, I had an itch in my nose. Probably dry skin. Go, Pack, go.